Thoughts Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go! Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The pump you get after an amazing workout. That's Chad Ekowitz.
Get it, girl. That's Simone LaRue.
Yeah! Fitness!
Vascular.
Oh, I should have done arms at the gym this morning or something to just get a pump and
Just get
look
your
at
pump?
these little bird arms.
Hey, you've got some really great definition. I wouldn't
Yeah,
complain.
look at my shoulder muscle.
Look at that. Look at your shoulder
Yeah.
caps. Those are great. Look at
Okay,
those bad
thanks.
boys. Look at you go.
You're keeping everything hidden, so I feel better under your hoodie.
Oh yeah. I mean, look here.
Oh my goodness, that's heavy. Look
There
at
you go.
him. You guys, you're not watching the YouTube video. If you're not, like, Chad just lifted a very heavy looking dumbbell. How much was that?
That was 16 kilograms that I shoulder
So
pressed.
strong.
It's not too bad. I think, just
Yeah.
from like randomly picking it up. I mean, that's not good podcasting, what just happened. So we we do have to apologize to our listeners, but our YouTube listeners got
You're
some
very welcome.
added bonus content. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. I'm lightheaded now. Whew.
Because that was so light, it was almost like lifting nothing.
Yeah, it was essentially air, so I didn't know what to do.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, I was shocked. I was so shocked. I became breathless. So why are we talking about muscles so much, Simone? Why are we talking about those gains?
We're finally, I can't believe we haven't done this as a theme. We're doing fitness episode.
Mhm.
You and I like to gym, we like to work out. And it's about time that we embraced that.
Yeah, exactly. It is, like you said, it is
We've
really
been secret
surprising.
jocks all along.
Who knew? We're the cute little nerd girl who, once you take off
Mm.
those glasses, she's beautiful, but also she fucking lifts, bruh.
Muscular.
She's so muscular.
Yeah.
That would actually be a great Freddie Prinze Jr. movie. If he like
She's like a
comes
power
out.
lifter.
Yeah, it would be great. The power lifter and the lifted. That's what you could call it.
Oh.
Yeah. Aw. So yes, so it is surprising that we haven't done this before, but I am glad that
Hmm.
we're doing it now, especially because it was so difficult to find these movies. And the movies that we are doing today are G.I. Jane and Pain and Gain. It rhymes, it's adorable. I'm very excited for this week.
Yes.
So
Yes, oh.
I mean, it's two more different films you could never mix.
Yeah, because one's inspirational.
I'm assuming you're talking about Pain and Gain, you know.
What's more inspirational than Mark Wahlberg being buff and ambitious in all the wrong ways?
Exactly. That's exactly what you want, and sort of skewing the idea of the American dream, which I feel like
Yeah.
ever since the American dream was a thing, it was people basically just trying to skew it. Like no
Wish
one's ever just
Americans
been...
would stop.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a great concept. Bring me your tired, bring me your weary.
Yeah.
But also, just like it's not true anymore, right?
Because also, don't other countries do it better?
That's also very,
Because
very
I remember
true.
I was chatting to an American friend of mine, and he was talking about how, like, oh, this lady is like in office. I forget what position. I don't understand how American
Mhm.
government is structured.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah.
like, oh, and her dad is like, her dad has like done plumbing for us, and like it's amazing that in America, like your father can be a plumber and you can be in Congress or the Senate or fucking I don't understand.
Mhm.
And I was like, I mean, in other countries, that's not even like a hurdle to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, presumably, a plumber's daughter should have the same access to education and healthcare
Yeah.
and all kinds of other stuff as like a richer person's daughter. Plumbers
Yeah.
do make really good money as well. Like, it's hardly a low-paying profession.
No, exactly. It is. I think America really takes it to the next level purely because they're such a young country. And because they're
Yeah.
so young, they believe they're the first ones to do it. But you know, they're still
And
like
everyone else has just
teething.
quietly been doing it, you know?
Exactly. And the whole world is just like a really nice parent that's just letting their child just, you know, let her run out the
Yes,
clock.
you're
Just
very
you.
special.
You're doing your absolute best, sweetie. We're really, really proud of you. Do you want extra lessons? Go for it. You need those extra piano lessons? You can have them. No, it's never too expensive. But yeah, like this whole idea, it's like everything that America is based on. I feel like we are shitting on America a lot, but
Sorry. We love you guys. We really
we do love you guys. Yeah.
Our listeners only, though. If you
yeah.
don't listen to our podcast and you're American, you can get the fuck out.
But also stay and please listen to us so we
Say
can have money. Please.
hi.
Hi, we love you. But yeah, so I do think, you know, even from very early on, the American dream has been demonized in a weird way and sort of corrupted. And I think Pain and Gain, strangely enough, really
Beautiful
exacerbates
example.
that. Yeah, exactly. And then G.I. Jane is just the true American dream.
I have so many feelings about G.I. Jane, and I'm going to tell you all about them.
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts because I love this movie. I think it's
Oh, it was pretty
absolutely
fun.
brilliant.
It was really, really fun.
So let's get into it. What are you drinking?
Yeah. I got a hold of some wine.
Yes,
I'm not going to say
bootlegger
how.
Simone.
I will not say in what way, but I've got it.
I love Bootlegger Simone. Bootlegger Simone, talking about Great Gatsby, she's going to be my favorite. She's going to start selling her wines. She's going to, you know, make her millions. And then finally, just right at the end, she'll finally get hold of Daisy and the dream of the green light will disappear
Finally
forever.
swim in my own swimming pool.
Those are the dreams. Please don't die. Please don't get killed by a
I'm
by a
not doing
car
any
assassin.
bootlegging myself. It's I just acquired this.
Okay, good. Well, are you happier for it?
Yeah, it has been nice. It's not like we're like, you know, going hard or anything, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's been nice to have some wine around and be able to pour some for the podcast. And yeah, my parents
Yeah.
are also visiting. So it was really cool that we were able to like have a lovely evening yesterday and have a little glass of wine while we sat outside.
I'm so shocked that your dad, the ambassador, has partaken in this illegal affairs.
He did no transport, he did no buying, he did no selling. He is completely in the clear.
Okay, I'm
You
glad that we.
narc.
That's what I've got to do. That's my job. I've got to knock on these people.
Jesus.
That's what we do. I bet you never said he explicitly drank. So there you go. You're safe.
He's not broken a single law in his life.
No, your dad is like a saint. He's
Yeah,
the
really,
best of us.
truly.
Yeah. Well, I am drinking Alska
Ooh.
again, but this time it's spiced
looks-
cranberry and cherry.
That
It's-
sounds delightful.
It really is. It's a premium cider. It's vegan. I mean, it's just joy and happiness in its small little
Guilt
can.
free.
Exactly. It's
Everyone
so
knows
beautiful.
if it's vegan, it has no calories.
That's what I believe, right? Like that's why I've
Mhm.
just been chugging these. Like this is what I'm surviving on. I don't.
It's like
they
a
only
little
make.
Regina George situation. No, it's helping me lose weight, guys.
Yeah, exactly, guys. I mean, they don't make anything else vegan, right? It's just this. I've never seen.
Yeah, nothing else
anything
is truly vegan.
Yeah, no, true. So, what is yours? Because mine is 4%.
It's wine, so it's probably about 14-ish.
Right. Okay. Well, then I guess we're doing G.I. Jane first. Hoorah!
Yes, we are.
I'm so excited.
There's not like a ton of plot to this.
No.
So I'm just gonna breeze through it real quick.
hmm
Okay. Senator for Texas, Lillian DeHaven, played by Anne Bancroft. She is a little annoyed with the military and the way that they treat women, or the lack of women in the military. She makes, as a political move, a direct challenge to the Navy that they need to start bringing more women in, and they propose a test case to show whether women can even handle the training of the military. Naturally, they're like, oh, the woman should train to be a Navy SEAL. Lillian searches through a bunch of possible candidates and finds Jordan O'Neill, played by Demi Moore. Jordan is a intelligence officer in the Navy already, so all she'd really have to do is train for the SEALs. She also tried to go to war a couple times but was told that there are no ladies' bathrooms on a submarine. So how would they even accommodate her? So she's
Insanity.
already pissed off, and she is fucking ready to take this chance. So off she goes to SEAL training, ready to kick some butt. And she makes it very clear she's not interested in this being a political thing or a gender thing. She just wants to shoot her shot and do her best. So SEAL training is hard. At first, the guys really don't take her seriously. A bunch of the instructors don't take her seriously, on top of just like the general hell that is Navy SEAL training. Of particular interest is Master Chief John James Argyle, played by Viggo Mortensen, who super doesn't believe in her, but kind of does. Like, he's the only one who's like, hey, I don't think you should get like 30 seconds extra added to your time. I don't think you should be able to talk to the commander every single time you have a problem. And she's like, no, I totally agree. I don't want any extra treatment. I just want to finish the training. So after a lot of back and forth, a lot of really hard training sessions, and a lot of her fighting with the powers that be, Jordan completes the worst part of all, which is like an on-island training exercise. And basically she is in. Unfortunately, she has become a huge news sensation, and a photographer takes a couple of pictures of her hanging out with some of the female officers. The military then says, hey, it looks like you could be a lesbian. And she's like, I'm obviously not a lesbian. And they're like, yeah, but while we investigate, we're going to put you on desk duty. And she is pissed. So she quits. She's like, well, then fuck all of you. While she's at home, she realizes that the person who sent in the papers and filed the report was actually Lillian DeHaven. And when she goes to talk to her at the Senate,
Senate,
I
Congress.
don't understand American government.
Big white
when
building.
she goes to talk to Lillian at the Senate, she realizes that Lillian has now been able to keep all 5 military bases in Texas. So there was a trade being made, and she threw Jordan under the bus. Jordan threatens to go straight to the press about it, and Lillian's like, oh shit, okay, we'll make a plan for you to be back in the SEALs. Everybody's really happy to see her because she's won everybody's respect. Then comes a final training exercise, but oh no, it's actually a real exercise, because another SEAL team that went in to steal or to take some nukes that accidentally ended up in Egypt, out of Egypt, they're stuck, so now they have to liberate them. She ends up being part of leading the squad, especially because Master Chief John James Argyle, he gets trapped behind enemy lines. So they have to try and extract him. It's a whole thing. But she rescues him. She finally wins his respect. And she is the first female Navy SEAL, paving the way for women after her. The end.
Hoorah. What's your
Hoorah.
scene that could have, what's your cliffhanger for this bad boy?
Oh, it's got to be this one, which is when she first reads the instructions that Lillian gives her. And she's like, do you understand that you want like what you're asking me to do? And the lady's like, oh, what about like, didn't you want to go for war? And she's like, no, ma'am. Like they said the thing about the bathrooms. And
Right.
she's like, I like pissed off.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So why? To be honest, I'm perplexed, because I thought your cliffhanger would have been the whole "Sir, suck my dick" thing. But
I really hated that scene. So
did you? Oh wow. Okay. Talk to me. Tell me why. Like.
Well, okay. So basically the scene we're talking about for everyone is during the training simulation on the island. Her team that she's leading gets kidnapped by another team, and the rest of the team are like tortured, soft torture, I guess, tortured to give away information. And then eventually it's Demi Moore's turn, and they really chuck her around, and she's not giving anything away. So then the Master Chief starts simulating like he's going to rape her.
Yeah, it's really fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's really fucking gross and weird. And everyone's like, hey, dude. And she keeps telling her guys, like, don't say anything, don't do anything, I'm fine. And then she fights him off with her hands behind her back, which is really cool. But I didn't like it. And yeah. I do understand that he's like, oh, if this were a real thing, who's to say that this wouldn't happen because she's a woman? And it's like, I mean, men can get raped too, first of all, but he didn't simulate rape on any of them.
Yeah, it is a little his argument is somewhat valid, but also it's not.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. And then especially the whole third act is essentially her winning over this dude's approval, or like getting a better relationship. And I'm like, why would you want any of his approval?
Yeah.
And yeah, then at the end he gives her that book of poetry with the I never saw a wild thing feel sorry for itself, which is a terrible poem. I didn't get the point of that. And yeah, it's a weird ending. I didn't care for it.
To be fair, I think this movie was a little bit misguided. There are some things about this movie that just feel a little off and like a little bit janky. Like for me, what really stood out as the jankiest of janky things was the music. The music really didn't play well with any of the scenes. Like at one point you have like her ringing the bell because she's like furious about the whole lesbian thing, and she rings the bell and it's like an Enya-esque song that plays, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And yeah, it was just like it took you out of the movie, which is inherently, this movie is cool. You've got this badass.
It is very cool.
It's so cool. It's so inspiring, like you said.
Hard. And I think the whole, like, I mean, the training is a very large chunk of the movie, and it's really fun to watch because, I mean, nobody's under any illusion that being a Navy SEAL is easy, and they make that training. I mean, it's famously the hardest test in the world. Like, I don't know if you've ever like read up on it before, but they get like 4 hours of sleep in a week for Hell Week.
I mean, it's bordering on cult-like behavior, isn't it? Like,
it's almost like they're indoctrinating eventually. Anyway, but like I thought that the training was really well done because it really does show like how shit it is, and like just how nonstop it was too. Like they're doing all this stuff, and then like at some point you realize you're like, this has all been in one day.
Yeah, exactly.
They did the training exercise at night. They have to eat the food that they threw out earlier. Like they have to pick food out of garbage cans, and they're so fucking hungry that they do with no hesitation.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then they go write that thing.
Yeah, they have to go write some random essay when their hands are shaking because they were just in freezing cold water and they haven't been allowed to change. And then they have to get up and go do this fucking obstacle course. It's like,
it's
like
crazy.
You're just like, oh my God, let them rest.
It makes complete sense why when like they do this whole lesbian allegation, which is another sort of rabbit hole that we just do not have time for.
I mean, it was still like don't ask, don't tell. It was what, 1997?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So I believe don't ask, don't tell was still like a thing, but they were still like, we'd rather you not be gay.
Yeah. Issues.
Anyway.
But yeah, it is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, where is that scene where she's talking to the commander in chief, and and she's just completed the training, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll put you on a desk job until this allegation is gone. And she's like, I will not fucking do this training again. And you're just sitting there just like, yeah, I don't blame you. Who in their right mind would do this for a second time? That is crazy.
Jesus, yeah. I think it takes a very special kind of person, and like I like pushing myself. I like a good workout. I like roughing it a little bit. I saw this and I was like, there's not a fucking, especially obviously it's like the Navy. They're wet all the time. They're wet all the time. I would lose my fucking mind.
So is
I
that
can
like
do a lot of things as long as I'm dry and warm.
So is that like that's what killed it for you? Like that's what where you
on top of just like
bell.
The psychological abuse.
Oh yeah,
the exhaustion, and you know what? Also, I really can't go without eating. I am like a bird. Okay. I need to be fed constantly.
See, for me, it's the sleep. Like I could, I know the wet would get to me quite a bit. Like I would feel the wet and the cold, especially like the cold. But it is the lack of sleep. I need like if I'm gonna train hard, then I need to recuperate
you need
and
your
rest.
8 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I would have been done if like I had just put my head down and then they would like, get up, you maggots. I would have straight up just gone to the bell.
Yeah.
Straight to the bell. So yeah, it would have been the sleep for me. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So what for you like went wrong with this movie?
So for me, actually, I think that the whole third act could honestly have been
Right?
cut out.
It's pointless.
Because they finish up her character arc really well. She's won
Mhm.
everybody's respect. She's proven to herself she can do it. She's gotten her boyfriend back.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like she begged for him back. He was just like, hey, I was just really scared of losing you. I realized I
Yeah.
don't want to lose you. I love you. Like, he really,
It was really sweet. Yeah. It
came
was
to the
delightful.
table. Yeah, and like everybody respects her now. Like, the movie was done. And the whole extra, like that whole extra arc with the training exercise and stuff was really more to like redeem the Master Chief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he was such an asshole. He
was the
tried to like simulate
worst.
grape on her. Like, you need to redeem him because otherwise you're gonna
Yeah.
finish this movie and everyone's gonna hate him.
And I was like, I mean, you could also just leave people hating him and him being
Yeah.
like kind of an asshole. I think that there are probably lots of guys in those positions
Oh, yeah.
that are and always kind of assholes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely
And
agree.
I think also by the time we get to that point, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that she's capable of leading a mission,
Mhm.
or that she's like capable of being a leader. Like, that's all very clear.
Mhm. Exactly. It does feel really weird. Like, they put so much emphasis on the whole senator kind of screwing her up with all this lesbian stuff, and then they didn't devote any time to it. It was literally one scene in her office.
Yeah, she was like, hey, I'll go to the press. And the lady's like, no, don't. And then that's it.
And that's it. It would have been just great to have that be maybe the struggle, like a court case. I know I'm very much
Yeah.
playing to my specific niche, but
Yeah.
you know, having like a court case or something where she like comes up against the senator
Yeah.
and like the senator gets fired, you know, some decent resolution like that, instead of
Mhm.
being like, oh, it's done and now we're back in training and we're gonna save the Master Chief
Yeah.
because apparently this is where the story needs to end. Yeah, it was misguided.
A specific pet peeve of mine is that
Mhm.
like I really like that Demi Moore ended up cutting her hair off
Cool. Cool
into the
scene.
training. Also
Yeah.
because like you can see how much she's fucking struggling with it. Like, you know, it's wet all the time and it's in her
Mhm.
fucking face all the time
Mhm.
and it won't stay up because she's in and out of the water. It's basically like just a dreadlock at one point. Like, I would have also, I was like, girl, yeah, just get rid of it.
Chop it off.
It
Yeah.
is not serving you. But what pissed me off was she was not given a good sports bra at any point in the movie. Like, Demi Moore, I think it's not a super male gazy movie, except for
Yeah.
when some of those workout scenes that gets a little bit. It's like she's doing push-ups, dude. Like, come on.
It's a really weird scene that, like, I get the
Yeah.
point, but it was really odd.
Yeah, it was really. And then she's anyway, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But like, she has these shitty bras. She's a busty lady. She has great
Yeah.
boobs.
Yeah.
And her boobs are hanging like halfway towards her fucking belly button half the time because she's got like the shirt I'm wearing now, like the spaghetti
Mhm.
strap. She has like these spaghetti strap fabric cotton shitty bras. I was furious the whole time. I was like, she must be in so much pain because they must do so much running and so much swimming,
So
and those
much
cotton
running.
bras are just chafing because it's
The
wet all
salt,
the time.
and it's
And
rubbing
it's not
against her.
giving her
Oh.
boobs any support. Like, I don't even have big boobs, and I was like, I would be in pain wearing
Yes.
that fucking bra. Even like when she like goes home to her boyfriend, her boobs
Mhm.
are like so low down, and it's like, why can she not have a single good bra?
Bra health was not a thing in 97. That's just
No.
very, very clear. But it would have been great in that,
Like,
like,
her
in that
poor
health
boobs.
scene. In that health scene where she was just like being sort of looked over by the female nurse or
Mm.
doctor, and the nurse is just like, your boobs are wrecked. Like, I just want to make that very clear to you now.
You have bruises on your ribs, probably. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you want your boobs like taped down to your
Yes.
chest.
Yes. I mean, it is a great, like, I'm glad you brought up the point of, like, even when she gets home, she doesn't have, like, a decent
Yeah.
support bra. But, like, I could understand it if it was, like, that would have actually been a really cool scene if, you know, within the training, she goes to the commander-in-chief and she's like, I need a good support bra. And he's like, oh, we didn't know that because we've never had women here. Is there
Yeah.
a difference? Because that would be, like, a really good commentary.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
it
that
was,
would be interesting. But I think
yeah.
the whole thing, she was like, oh, I don't want special treatment. And I don't know. I feel like that's this weird thing in the military where they're like, oh, women don't deserve special treatment. It's like, it's not special treatment if you're making it easier for them to do the same job as a man.
Yes. Exactly. You're actually
Like,
helping defend your country better
yeah,
by making
exactly.
sure
It's
that
not
they're
the same as
comfortable.
like, giving them handicaps or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just literally catering to like their physiology so that they
Yeah.
can do the stuff that they have to do.
Yes, exactly. But as we are very aware from American politics, is a woman's bodily autonomy is not a thing. It doesn't exist. You just it's just not.
Accommodating female bodies for what?
Insane. Women are just there to make babies and cook food. That's their role. No need to go outside of that box. Pick your lane.
But I actually, speaking of that medic that kept checking her out, I thought that was like a really cool little relationship where she was
Yes.
just like so on her side and like
Yes.
really nice and really matter of fact. And I mean, I liked that detail that actually Demi Moore's like her period stopped while she was doing the training,
Mhm.
which is absolutely something that would
Yeah.
happen
Yeah.
when your body's going through that much stress. I thought that was
Totally
like a cool
expected.
detail that they didn't have to put in there. But it helped.
Yeah, those are the cool details which you really like about this film, I think. It's the little bits of things that you don't really think about. And like, it
Yeah.
would make a man watching this film, especially in 97, when
Yeah.
all of this stuff is like so not
Yeah.
open and available for everyone. So a man watching this in 97, even some men watching it now
Yeah.
are just like, oh shit, your period can stop when you're being severely stressed out and not eating and not sleeping. Bonkers, crazy. So it's not like a tap, these are like important messages
I
that men need
wish.
to men need to understand as well. And I guess like in a weird way, this was a really good
Yeah.
movie for feminist statements like that. It wasn't, I mean,
it was very funny because like it's so 90s because like the whole time Demi Moore's like, I don't want to be a feminist about this. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
this to be a feminist statement. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, bish, like that's not what this is about. Like, no, we're not gonna.
Unfortunately for you. But interestingly, I looked it up. There still actually has never been a female Navy SEAL.
Really, just because of the training,
they
or
don't.
what?
Yeah, they don't make allowances for women, which I don't think they should. I think if there's a standard for what needs to
Yeah.
be done to do the job, and like
Yeah,
a woman can't meet it, like it's a danger to her teammates. I
Yeah.
totally get it. And it's some of the craziest training
Yeah.
in the world. Last I read, I think a year or two ago, there were 2 women that got into the training, but they didn't make it through the training.
right.
So there actually has never been a female Navy SEAL before.
That's really interesting.
that-
But I think what's the good point about that as well is the fact that at least they are being allowed to do the training.
Yeah.
That's what's important. It isn't a case
Yeah.
of we're just restricting women from doing the training. It's a
Yeah.
case of
Everybody gets a chance. And that's like, and
everybody gets a
again, like
chance.
that's all women want. Like as much as Demi Moore was like, oh, it's not a feminist statement. Like feminism isn't about like shoving women into roles. It's about like everybody just wants a chance at the same
equal
thing.
opportunity.
Like, men should have a chance to do things that like they don't maybe get to do in our society, or that they're shamed for doing in our society, just as much as women should be able to try for everything as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's that great statement that Demi makes in this movie where she's like, I think it's the senator or it's the commander in chief, I can't remember, but one of them is just like, the US public doesn't want to see women coming home in body bags. And Demi's like, oh, so what you're saying is that a man's life is way less valuable than a woman's life? Is that what you're saying? And I was like, holy shit, that's a really good spin on it. Like, that's a really good point. And I think that's a really,
it's almost like we maybe shouldn't want to see anyone coming home in a body bag.
What a concept.
Almost like war is problematic and
war is
maybe
bad.
There are solutions.
War is an actual crime.
And
How
again,
crazy.
totally. I think it's totally like, I mean, yeah, it's not news to anyone who listens to this podcast, but I think it's very valid to like not like war and still support troops and like respect people who put their lives and bodies on the line for their country and something they believe in. Like, I have infinite respect for Navy SEAls because they are tougher than I will ever be.
It's a cocktail of respect mixed with fear that anyone would be able to put their body through that and get out the other side. Healthy fear of those kind of people.
I would be crying all the time from hunger. I really can't. I did an overnight course once. It was like an urban survival course. And as part of it, the food was really limited.
Right. Okay.
And I just fucking suffered. Like I did everything, but I was in such a fucking mood. And
I feel
like
that.
the next day I was chatting to the guy who ran the course, and he was like, I really didn't expect you to be as affected by the food. And I was like, I'm little. I don't have energy stores. I need
It's
to
true.
replenish.
It's true. You're like a hummingbird. If you're not fed every 20
Yeah,
seconds,
exactly.
you start to flank.
I'll die.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. So what is your scene that could have saved this?
I think I'm gonna stick with just get rid of the whole third act. It's so dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Mine was the exact same thing. They could have just explained the senator's thing better and just made it a bigger thing. And like, even if they had just moved the whole Master Chief thing before the lesbian thing and ended with the lesbian thing, fine. Make it a bigger thing.
Yeah.
But they just it was so weird.
Yeah, it was so shoved in because you're like, oh, the movie's done. Like everybody's had their arc. And it's like it was really sweet, like seeing her like be friends with all of her like teammates. Like, she like won their respect, and they were like, oh my God, she is maybe the coolest person in the world. God, and Demi Moore worked so hard for that role. It has to be said. Like, she was buff.
Yeah, she must have worked out so hard for that, and she looks great in it. And it is like, oh, what a role! What a great role to be chosen for.
Although in the training montage, then they show her like really struggling to do pull-ups and push-ups and stuff, and it's like that's all training you're supposed to do before you start your Navy SEAL training. Like you should be able to do a certain amount of pull-ups and push-ups and
it made no sense in the grander scheme of things. Exactly, you're so right. Because
if you're really wide-legged push-ups, what was that?
I didn't understand that. That's taking half the fun out of it. But yeah, like it was so weird for two reasons. And the first is, like you said, you should be able to do a push-up before you get into Navy training. But also, we had already seen her doing the push-ups in the ocean, and she was keeping up with the men, and everything was fine. But then you like halfway through the movie, you get to this montage, and she can't do a push-up. It's like, but we saw you doing them 10 minutes ago. I'm so confused about where your strength just went. Yeah. Very strange.
Yeah, that was very strange. And like maybe they could have done a little montage of her getting ready for the SEAL training, which is a totally normal, like that's, how it works. You train up and do a fitness test, and then you get into the SEAL training. Like you should be able to do his push-ups as easily as you breathe.
Yeah, it's straight up. I mean, you would suffer and die if you didn't have the strength to do it. I mean, holding those boats over your head.
No, after you've been doing push-ups in the ocean and everything, so your arms, oh my God. No, man, guys.
Not for me. Thank you. I am good.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Would you watch this again?
You know what? Yeah, and then I'd just stop after the whole senator thing. I'd be like, okay.
Done. Movie over. Roll credits. Yeah. I completely agree. It's such a great movie. It's just a really fun thing.
Great
I think
performances all around.
Yeah, it's a really easy way to get people into feminism as well. Like
just ease them in with that 90s. Oh no, this isn't a feminist movie. Feminism.
Yeah, exactly. It's the honey trap. That's all it is.
The honey trap.
You know what you do is we're gonna run those weekend tutorials for bros who don't understand sort of like feminism, womanly autonomy, on how to treat women, that kind of thing.
We start with G.I. Jane.
Start with G.I. Jane, Jackie Chan, more Jackie Chan. More Jackie Chan,
and by the end they're watching Promising Young Women.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Or also, I thought about this recently actually. More Mark Ruffalo films. Him as like a 90s heartthrob in rom-coms. What a wonderful time. Like God, we need more Mark Ruffalo sitcom romances. He's great.
Just a scruffy little face.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. We'll get them watching Rumor Has It as well. Just perfect.
And I think Keanu Reeves movies. I think Keanu Reeves is has generally respected, except in Neon Demon. He was a rapist in that. But other than that,
I've never heard of that film. So
it's real good. It's Elle Fanning. Okay. It's real good.
Okay, nice. Well, thank you, Simone. Shall I tell you about Pain Gain?
Yeah, tell me about Pain and Gain.
I don't know if you want to go get your weights while I do this, and you can just wrap
so I can
out
get
some
a good
curls.
pump going.
Yeah, get it.
No, it's
right.
I'm still pumped up from this morning, so we're good.
Nice. All right. Here we go. What follows is based on a true story. Daniel Lugo, played by Mark Wahlberg, is a personal trainer with a big dream. He wants to be rich beyond his wildest imagination. He's a guy who believes in the American dream, that if you work hard enough, you can have everything you've ever wanted. Problem is, he doesn't know how to get it. He has all these rich clients who flaunt their wealth at him, and he feels like a complete loser. After attending a motivational talk, he comes up with a plan. He's going to kidnap one of his rich clients, get them to hand over everything they own to him, and then he'll ride off into the sunset. He decides to target Victor Kershaw, played by Tony Shalhoub. But in order to steal everything Kershaw has, he's going to need some help. He ropes in his buddy and fellow PT, Adrian Doorbell, played by Anthony Mackie, who agrees to join this venture because he needs money to make his penis work again. See, Adrian has been using steroids in order to get bigger, but unfortunately, it causes him to become impotent. Lugo also decides to hire another guy, Paul Doyle, played by Wayne Johnson. Paul is an ex-coke addict, alcohol. Did I? Oh my God.
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Wayne Johnson?
I'm so sorry. Dwayne, I'm so sorry.
Our dear friend.
He's been a fan of this podcast since the very beginning. I'm so sorry for getting your name wrong. Gosh, I hope you continue to listen. Sorry, Dwayne Johnson. Paul is an ex-coke addict, alcoholic who, after a stint in prison, has now reformed his life and has devoted it to Jesus. He only agrees to join Lugo and Adrian because he has absolutely no money, and the priest he is staying with tried to come on to him. So the three of them eventually kidnap Kershaw. They torture him and eventually get him to sign over everything he owns. Pretty early on in the kidnapping, though, Kershaw realizes that the ringleader is Lugo, and so Lugo now has to kill Kershaw so that he doesn't get ID'd by the cops. He solicits Paul to do this, but being the good Christian that he is, Paul is super apprehensive to do so. Eventually, Paul does try to kill Kershaw, but fails. Kershaw escapes, and whilst in hospital, tries to talk to the police. The story is so unbelievable that the police dismiss the case as a complete nonsense. So, while Paul, Adrian, and Lugo are enjoying all of Kershaw's money and the such, he is stuck in hospital with no one to believe him. Kershaw then turns to a private detective, Ed Dubois, played by Ed Harris. Dubois doesn't believe Kershaw either, but decides to take the case anyway. In the meantime, Paul, Adrian, and Lugo are living their best lives. They're loving the money, kicking ass, and trying to integrate with high society. And speaking of high society, Paul starts doing coke again and completely falls off the wagon. He blows through his cash super quickly, and so asks Lugo if they can pull off another job, this time on a super rich porn director. Adrian is in because he needs more money for his penis, and after some humming and hawing, Lugo is in too. That's when things turn really bad. Lugo accidentally kills the porn guy, and Dubois alerts the chief of police to the whole situation. The cops are able to positively ID Paul from a blown-off toe that he left at the victim's house, and so after that, all the other men are caught too. They stand trial and are then convicted of and sentenced to death. All except Paul, because he turns against Adrian and Lugo, confesses to the whole thing, and implicates them in the crime. He is only sentenced to 15 years. The end.
What's your cliffhanger?
So I changed my mind this morning, actually. So my new cliffhanger has to be this one. And it's the scene after they kill the porn guy. And Mark Wahlberg is like, oh, I need to get a quick pump on. And he starts working out. And Dwayne Johnson is just sitting there and he's like trying to talk to him about something serious. And then like every now and again, he just sprinkles in, yeah, get it, man. And that is so funny. And I think that's why I really enjoyed this movie, is because like there's just little sprinkles of brilliant lines every now and again.
Bro moves, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. I thought it was so funny.
I just like three idiots trying to commit crimes and being so bad at it.
Yeah, but they still pull it off. Like they're still somehow
because they're
able
not
to
even
pull off the
evil.
first one.
They're just greedy dickheads who are so dumb.
So dumb. It's unbelievable how dumb they are. And you know what? Dwayne Johnson plays a really good dumb guy. Like he can do dumb so
he can
well.
do dumb real well.
Yeah, I
Just
was
plays
really
this
surprised.
dumb little puppy dog.
It's great. It's perfect. I actually really enjoyed all three of them in this movie. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Anthony Mackie at the best of times, but he was actually really good in this. That whole scene where he's drinking breast milk, so funny.
In the strip club.
Yeah.
And him and Rebel Wilson was
Oh, yeah.
especially hilarious in this. But like
Mhm.
him and Rebel Wilson together actually was like great chemistry. They were so
Amazing.
cute together.
It was so good. I mean, yeah, like this movie is ridiculous, and I don't understand why it was ever made. But also,
Michael
it's
Bay had a dream.
I knew it was Michael Bay. Of
Of
course,
course
it was Michael
those
Bay.
nice low angles, the oversaturation. Come on.
Oh my god, how could it be anyone else but Michael Bay? Good lord.
Those lens flares.
So this is your second time watching this. What are your thoughts on a rewatch?
This movie just feels really long.
Yes.
Like the plot progression makes sense. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm totally getting where this is going, but you're still like, oh my God, are we still following these idiots? They're so dumb. Because at first you're kind of glad for Mark Wahlberg's character. Like the crazy thing is he's not a terrible businessman. So he like he joins this new gym as a trainer and he tells the guy, like, listen, I'll triple your client signups in a month. And he makes some really smart business decisions to do that. He gives free free membership to strippers, and he gives everybody a free wax when they join up, so they feel all shiny and smooth and fresh. That's really smart.
That's smart.
All he had to do was leverage his knowledge of the fitness industry. Maybe he opens his own gym. Maybe he starts a franchise. Like all he had to do was put like a little more effort in and something he was obviously good at to get where he wanted to be. And instead
he comes up with this plan. This
but you feel
crazy
because
plan.
like you start off feeling for him, and then the moment he's like, oh, like why should that guy have everything and I've got nothing, and you find out that that guy also like worked his ass off to get to where he was, and it's at that point you're just like, well, I mean, fuck all of these guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like it kind of comes across as well, like halfway through the plan, that they weren't mad at this guy because he had all the money. It was because he had all the money and he was Jewish and Colombian. And so it felt really anti-Semitic. Yeah, and it felt really xenophobic because of that halfway through. Like you said, you felt really good and like, oh, come on, Mark Wahlberg, can this guy not catch a break? Can this white man not catch a break? But then it turns racially motivated and you're just like, oh, I feel weird now. I feel horrible about all of this. But yeah, you are so right. And I think, you know, that in itself is like it sort of diminishes the whole satire of the American dream, because clearly, like you said, Mark Wahlberg has plans. He's really good at what he does. He's a smart talker. He can do these things, but he refuses to work for what he wants. He wants like a quick fix.
Well, he's just like, well, I've done my work now.
And he just like straight up expects it just like to fall out the sky. But it's like that constant gradual grind that you have to do. I mean, Jesus, you and I both know that.
Don't we just?
But like if you even look, like the guy Tony Shalhoub, he's like at least 50 and he's only enjoying that kind of lifestyle now after working so hard. And he is an asshole in this movie, like the way he speaks to people.
That's why no one wants to help him as well, partially out of like xenophobia and like mild anti-Semitism, but also because he's like such a dick to everyone. People are like, well, fuck you very much then. I did love Ed Harris in this. I love Ed Harris always. He's such a sweetie. But like, oh, he's such a sweetie. He's got a great wife that he loves so much.
That's all you want.
The scene where the wife's like, oh, I got a message from your friend, he says, and she quotes verbatim, like, I don't know what the fuck you did, asshole. Sweet Midwestern wife.
And then she like smiles afterwards and everything's like, she's just so sweet. It's little moments like that I think make this movie so great. It's the funny little bits in between this anti-Semitic, xenophobic kind of mess in the middle. I mean, Mark Wahlberg's boss at the gym, he is brilliant. He is so funny. The whole notary thing is great, where he's just like, we're a men of the law. And it's just, I love it for those bits.
and the little line where Mark Wahlberg's like, and the only thing we learned in the past 6 months, besides what a fucking notary does, is...
It's brilliant. It's so good. If you take out the violence, necessarily, and the horrible xenophobia and anti-Semitism. It's a great movie, and it's really fun, good, strong men doing dumb shit, and really enjoyable for those reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not a good movie. You will not root for any of the characters except maybe Ed Harris and his client.
Ooh.
And the dog, I guess. That greyhound was really fucking
Oh, that
cute.
greyhound was super cute. Yeah. Oh,
I
little
love
scruff.
greyhounds. They're just such
Yeah.
long little noodles. Look at them go,
Aw.
they're so fast.
How can you be so fast and such spindly little legs? I don't understand.
Look at you. But like, it is silly. You'll laugh despite yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's a Michael Bay movie. If you're a fan of his other work, this
You'll
is
be
for
a fan
you.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that it is based on a true story. I mean, I don't know how much of like everything that went down is true, but it is great that like they make it very clear that this was a true story, and during the credits they show the pictures of the actual criminals who did this kind of thing, and it's like, yeah, this is one of those stories where, you know, people did get hurt. Yeah, you understand, like someone actually died. Like these are bad things that happen, and people are in prison because of it and everything. But it's still really funny because if you just like objectively think about what they were trying to do and how bad they were at it, because they were such dumb dummies.
Like they cut off the people's hands so that their bodies can't be identified, and they're like, oh, we need to burn the fingerprints off the hands, and
So
naturally a
beautiful.
barbecue is the way to do it. The Rock grilling the hands on the barbecue was very funny imagery, I will not lie, but
yeah, especially with how
God.
sort of Michael Bay had shot that whole scene with him outside barbecuing,
All
because
at
it's
a
like
low
typical exactly, low angles, lots of oversaturation, lots of light shine on this very objectively comical scene of Dwayne The Rock Johnson frying hands.
Some human hands. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say about this, to be honest.
No, neither do I. I mean, it is just like, it's that weird vibe. I think it goes to what we were saying as well about like The Greatest Showman and that kind of thing. Don't look at it too closely and it will be fine. You'll enjoy it. Yeah.
I've got a question for you. If there's like some big crime or like historical event that you could have made into a movie, maybe starring The Rock, or like with The Rock as a supporting character, like what would it be?
What historical event would it be? Oh my God, that is quite a question to put on me at this point in time.
You don't. I mean, if you've got nothing, you've got nothing. I really sprung this on you.
You did, but like I'll think of something quickly. Give me 1 second. Historical.
Do you want to know mine?
Yes. You tell me yours while I calculate.
I forget exactly what year it was, but it was the first ever New York to Paris car race.
Okay.
Or Paris to New York. Yeah, it's Paris to New York. Cars were like a brand new thing at the time. They were very new. A lot of people had never seen a car in their lives. And it was a race from Paris to New York. And like you had to get on a barge and stuff. And there were all these rules. And was it? No, it was New York to Paris. It was definitely, I don't know. But yeah, it was just a huge fucking mess. Like they had teams from all over the place. When they were driving through America, Americans wouldn't help the team that wasn't American.
No.
So everybody was cheating by the end and taking trains. The Dollop does like an amazing episode on it. It's probably like a couple years old now. But it is one of the funniest things ever. And all I want is for it to be made into like an epic movie. I want George Clooney to be in it because I think he'd be perfect for that kind of vibe.
Oh my God, that looks so really funny. Fun. So it's like an old school rat race, because that would be so funny. Oh my gosh, that would be a great comedy. Like George Clooney. I think Matt Damon would do well in it with like a little.
I kind of also wanted to have sort of like Brother Where Art Thou vibes, you know?
Straight up, it has to be that weird comic kind of vibe. Yeah. I think of your mind, it's also along the sort of like built for failure comic kind of vibe, where in World War II there was like a specific branch whose sole job was to come up with new warfare, and what they did was they sewed pouches of what's the substance that's like really flammable? It starts with an A, I think.
I was thinking
They used it,
nitroglycerin. Yeah.
the stuff they bombed a lot in Vietnam. They used it in
Napalm.
bombs. Napalm, thank you, not with an A, weirdo.
There's an A in it.
There's an A in
There's
it.
2 A's.
Ooh. Ooh. So their sole job was like to find you. And so what they did was they would sew patches of napalm into bats, hoping that they would fly into Japanese like farmhouses and warehouses and blow up in the farmhouses. But the bats kept flying into American farmhouses and blowing up
that's
their
where we
own.
got them from.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just the best story. And I would just love for like you know how like the Imitation Game is filmed and it's like this really beautiful like war story about like the collection, but it's actually about these bats. And I would really appreciate that.
There's like a long history of people trying to use animals to like get at the enemy. It's horrible. Like, I mean,
it's awful.
If you're an animal lover, I would not recommend.
No, but if you can sort of dissociate from that, it is just brilliant. I think they tried to use cats at one point, and
they tried to bug cats. Move. That went really poorly. Ugh, those poor cats.
Those poor cats. But yeah, so I think pigeons. They really found a niche with pigeons.
Yeah. And they tried to train dogs. They strapped bombs to dogs and trained them to run under tanks.
Yeah, that was horrible. I hate that story. It breaks my heart. That one. Yeah.
That was.
So trying to lift the movie back up, what's your scene that could have saved it for this one?
I know like it's based on a true story, so I don't get to say this, but I really would have eliminated the scene where Anthony Mackie accidentally kills the porn king's wife.
Right, okay. Oh,
it's
yeah.
very upsetting. Like
that sucks.
I mean, the dude is also a victim in all this, but like just the way she like, I don't know. It's really, it's just so horrible. He basically ODs her on ketamine. And it's just like shame. She's just there.
She's just there. Yeah.
Like, and she's so, I felt so bad for her. I hated it so much. I just wish that they hadn't done that. I think it would have made the other characters a little more sympathetic.
Yeah.
But that just made me really sad.
No, it was sad. And like seeing her just like dead there and everything, it kind of brought the scene back into seriousness. Yeah, exactly. It was really sad. She was having a really great party and then she was really sad that her husband died. Yeah. For me, I can't think of a scene that could have saved it because I mean, this movie is just what it is. It's a Michael Bay comedy action thing. Maybe not beating up the priest because he's gay. I don't think that's necessary.
I mean, I don't think the issue was that the priest was gay so much as he was hitting on The Rock or like,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's still it feels really
touching
icky.
up on him. It was definitely sexual harassment.
Yeah, I guess you have a point. And I guess like anything The Rock does in retaliation is just going to be a bit overkill because he's so massive.
He's very large, and that priest was very old.
Person. Yeah, what I love is seeing The Rock in films, because you can always tell if it's pre-2018 or post-2018 Rock, because he's got the bull on his arm and the shoulder.
He covered up that tattoo.
And then he got it covered up in 2018. So like looking back and like seeing his arm, I was like, oh, it's pre-2018 Rock.
Look at that.
I like that. So would you watch it again? This, make it a hat trick.
I'm exhausted by like, I find Michael Bay exhausting at the best of times.
Whatever could you mean? Transformers was a dream film.
Oh, yes. And he's famously such a nice guy.
Yes, we all love Michael Bay. Ugh, no. Okay, yeah, I get you. It is exhausting. I think I would recommend it to people to watch just as like a Saturday afternoon drunk burger movie. And only watch it once. Don't make this your favorite film. I have no respect for you if you make this your favorite film. But yeah, give it a watch. Yeah, I would say watch it once and then get it over with, because it is just, it's a good 2 hours of your life, and then it's over. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Simone. This has been real fun. I hope you've got those reps in.
Oh yeah, you know me, just pumping it up.
Pump it up. What is your favorite day at the gym?
I like leg day actually, because my whole upper body is very weak, so leg day makes me feel strong.
Nice. A little bit of squats, a little bit of deadlifts.
Some deadlifts. Deadlifts are a full body exercise if you do it right. So
that's true. That is very true. Yeah. It is my favorite.
What about
exercise. You? It's arms and shoulders, dog. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can see it from my physiology that is my favorite day because it is the most defined and well-built part of my body. Yeah. You can tell that that's my favorite day at gym, but I just love it. I just feel like that's the day I get the best pump. That's the day like I feel the best
Just
at
strutting
gym.
around with your strong arms the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, that's the best day. You know, I roll. Those are the days that I roll up my sleeves, so it's like cutting off the
Ooh.
circulation in my forearms
Nice.
because they got that pump. That's the way forward. Yeah, I've actually started now doing legs first, like you know, like in the week, because you know, like as you go down the week, by Friday you just really don't want to exercise. If I get legs out the way first because it's my worst day, then yeah.
I really try to get legs out of the way in the week just because I run so much and I do my long runs on weekends. So I don't want my legs to be too tired on the weekend.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, there you go, guys. You've gotten your exercise tips from us. You should always come to us for exercise tips.
We're
the
basically
best at
experts.
So Simone, tell me what I think I know. I have a feeling, just an inkling of what your great gratitude of the week is, but I'm not sure. It could be something else.
I don't know.
So go for it.
I feel like I'm worried that I will jinx it. I just want to wait till I've got my official offer letter. So
okay.
I'm
choose
gonna
something else.
Okay. Yeah, just for now. So So I will say that there is something in the pipeline that I'm just waiting for it to be official before I announce it. But this week I'm also grateful for my parents. They came down to visit. They're moving to another country for my dad's job. So they have given us their dishwasher.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
No, Simone, that's brilliant. Oh my
isn't
God.
Isn't it the best?
Oh, my heart melts
happy
for you. Oh, holy shit.
Oh, and we tried it today and it worked. And there were all these dishes that I didn't have to wash by hand.
Oh my God, my heart, I'm going to bleed for you. Jesus, that's so wonderful. Oh my God.
My relationship is saved.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so glad for you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
This is how you know we're old now.
I'm grateful for my parents, but also for dishwashers.
Yeah, we're old now. Dishwashers make us happy.
What's your gratitude?
Right, it's a bit more of a philosophical one because I've been thinking about a lot about this because, I mean, to be fair, not much is going right in my life. I've kind of stagnated and that's okay. That's fine. I'm dealing with it. But I've kind of realized how fucking lucky we are to be alive right now in this time.
Oh, totally.
I think that it's overshadowed a lot by COVID and the fact that we're all stuck indoors and we're not able to do stuff that we were able to do. But we are going through a period of such social change and such social unrest and this whole ability for everyone to speak out against these oppressive systematic things that are going on. And you know, it's really, I think because COVID is such a thing, it's overshadowing the fact that we are living through a social revolution that is going to be amazing for our kids and our kids' kids. And that's great. We get to live through that. That's fucking cool. And so, you know,
it's a lot,
I think
it's
a lot.
Very cool.
Oh, it's absolutely exhausting. And I want to cry all the time. But it's also very cool because when we come out of it the other side, it's just going to be so beneficial for future generations. And I mean, that's what a legacy is, as Hamilton says. It's planting a tree that you never get to see grow. And that's what we're doing. And I'm really grateful for that. And I think it has been overshadowed by COVID and we forget that. But if you can separate those two events.
I like that you managed to sneak a Hamilton reference in there too.
I mean, every 20 seconds, I'm ready to just rap it out. So don't worry. I'm waiting to go back to a pub and be.
What's your favorite Hamilton song?
Oh, that's really tough. It's got to be a tie between Nonstop because it's just such a great song, and George Washington.
You can say My Shot.
No, I don't like My Shot. It's okay. It's not great.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of angry letters. But yeah, so I love Nonstop, and then I don't know the name of it, but it's the George Washington's Going Home, where he like resigns from from being the president.
Yes, I know what you mean though. Yes.
Yeah. One Last Time. That's what it's called. One Last Time. Yeah, I love that song. It's beautiful. Yeah, perfect. What are your favorite songs?
I like Dear Theodosia. I think that's really sweet, and it's a nice little beat in the movie. And I like I like Wait For It as well. I think that
Yeah.
actor, he's a really, really great actor, and he really gets a lot of passion into that song. So
Yeah.
it shows.
That break after the first chorus where he like really pushes it, it's
Oh,
beautiful.
incredible.
I'm thinking of getting, because I'm designing a sleeve. I'm thinking of getting, I know. I'm thinking of getting "I am inevitable, I am an original" like tattooed somewhere, because I love that line.
Yeah,
I think that's a
really
great
cool.
line. Yeah. So yeah, well, thank you guys so much. What are we gonna do next week, Simone? Tell us the thing.
So we're joining our friends next week. We made some friends
Yes.
over at the Girl Crush podcast. They're really, really nice. So together we are going to be talking about, I think, a girl crush for both of us.
Mhm.
Sandy B,
Oh, we
friend
love
of the podcast,
Sandy B.
love of our lives.
Yes.
And guys, we're going to be doing the Miss Congeniality movies. So
I'm so excited.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I have nothing bad to say about these movies.
No, this is going to be, I think it's going to be a fucking long episode, because there's going to be 4 of us. It's going to be chaotic as balls.
And it's your turn to edit.
I'm so excited to edit it. It's going to be great. I'm so ready for it. It's going to be so much fun to do. Sick. What a chaotic episode it's going to be of just pure love for Sandy B. Oh, ready. Yes.
Love her.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. What are you guys grateful for this week? What are you watching this week? What have you been watching? How do you feel about The Rock? Tell us all of your favorite Rock films, your not favorite Rock films. Should he change his name to Wayne? What do we think about that? And where can they tell us all of these things, Simone?
They can talk to us on Facebook or Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. They can email us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com. Chad and I also both have Twitter and Instagram, and you guys can talk to us on those as well.
Yes, we can't guarantee that we will respond to your DMs, because if you're going to be creepy, we ain't going to respond. But if you just want to have a nice chat, we'll of course respond. Like
honestly, as long as they're like not weird and you don't look like a bot, I will respond.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Simone, as a very beautiful woman, understands how DMs are run. As a white, beautiful man, me not so much. And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye.